Hello fellow Helldivers, Thornton here, and Liberty Day has finally ended. We had celebrations all across Super Earth, and I hope you guys got to partake in it. That being said, something that flew under the radar was some devs actually talking about the game coming to Xbox, what's the holdup, and if it's ever actually going to come. We're going to cover all of that today, but without further ado, let's talk about whether or not this game is ever going to be available to everyone. So first off, a congratulations to all Super Earth citizens out there. We have finished up Liberty Day, and now we have access to the brand new Constitution and the new armor set from Helldivers 1. It was a great day to celebrate, and I hope a lot of people had fun playing the game during this, but we gotta wonder, is Super Earth ever going to have more citizens to celebrate this event, and is it going to include the Xbox community, as it could expand even further by adding them in? And interestingly enough, one of the devs, Twinbeard, did make a comment the other day on Discord discussing about Helldivers 2 coming over to Xbox. And when asked about it, he says, who says it couldn't? It's not up to us, but to Sony and Phil being Microsoft, to duke out, but hypothetically speaking, if both partners think it would benefit them from a financial brand standpoint, it could. If Sony believes it won't though, it won't. And this is where it gets a little interesting. Obviously, there would be a lot of money by coming over to the Xbox ecosystem. At the same time, Sony would be getting a lot of that money, and it does seem like the devs wouldn't have a problem pouring it over, at least from what Twinbeard said. That being said, after the whole, PSN debacle with Steam accounts getting locked and now a lot of regions can't even play the game, it's questionable on whether or not Sony would go ahead and license this game over to Xbox, despite the fact that it would make a lot of money, and what it would mean for the PSN accounts. There's been a lot of rumors and speculation that this game would be the perfect crossover to come over to Xbox, as it would just bring in a lot of players to spend money on the game. It's $40 guaranteed from everyone that buys it. That being said, there's a list of other reasons on why this makes a lot of sense, and it could be something that we see in the very near future. Because not too long ago, we also heard something from another Xbox insider saying that there were preliminary talks about Helldivers 2 coming over to Xbox as well, thanks to the new CEO, and I'll play that clip right here so that there is even more information.
We know that PlayStation has a new CEO at the moment. I think the CEO might be a little more open to certain things. So what I've heard, it's just a rumor that I've heard, is that there may be some very early preliminary discussions about the possibility of Helldivers 2 coming to Xbox.
Now you might be saying this is all just rumors and circulating stuff, but that is a lot of Xbox insiders hearing the same exact rumors of PlayStation moving games over. And it's not only just that, but Sony CEO has actually made it very clear in a recent interview where he responded to a question from an analyst during a financial call. He said that in the past, the company wanted to popularize console, but there is a synergy to it. According to him, if a console maker has a strong first-party content, not only on its own console, but also other platforms, first-party can be grown, and that can help in improving the company's operating profit. This makes a lot of sense because the publisher of Arrowhead's game is actually Sony, which means that Sony would make a ton of money by bringing it over to Xbox, especially since recently, well, they did that whole PSN network thing and lost a ton of player base, including up to 90%. And the problem with that is that the PSN network is still having a requirement in certain regions that cannot access it, so that it is doubtful, according to other reports, that Helldivers will ever go up to the numbers before it enacted that requirement. Meaning that the only way that they can go ahead and pump numbers back up and make it a very profitable live service game that they were hoping for it to be would be to expand its player base by moving over to the Xbox marketplace as well. It also makes a lot of sense because, well, Xbox has recently announced that 4 games are actually coming to PlayStation from the Xbox exclusive content. In fact, Phil Spencer, the CEO of Xbox, even in a recent interview said, I will say, when I look at a game like Helldivers 2, and I want to be very clear, it's odd that he would specifically mention Helldivers 2, but anyways, he continues to say, it's a great game, kudos to the team shipping on PC and PlayStation. I'm not exactly sure who it helps in the industry by not being on Xbox. If you try to twist yourself to say like somehow that benefited somebody somewhere. So it's very clear that Xbox has had their eye on getting Helldivers over as well, and the PlayStation CEO wants to go ahead and move certain games over. Now, it's very clear that this isn't going to be a game like Spider-Man or God of War, which are console movers for PlayStation. They literally sell units, and it's very important that PlayStation keeps those games specific to their marketplace so people do buy it. That is what that synergy the CEO of PlayStation is talking about. However, for a live service game, you really want to get it to as many players as possible because there are transactions in it, such as armor pieces and super credit sales, that you are going to want to get in front of as many people as possible. You don't have that same thing with Spider-Man, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, because those are single player experiences that aren't loaded up with microtransactions. All of this makes a ton of sense. A live service game makes a ton of sense when you look at all the other ones, such as Apex Legends, Fortnite, PUBG. They're all cross-platform because the publishers realize by selling the most amount of microtransactions, they are going to make the most amount of revenue revenue possible. But as the Arrowhead dev said, it is going to be up to the corporate big heads to go ahead and come to an agreement on this. That being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into community clips now. Don't forget to send your clips over to Thornton Smash on Twitter if you guys ever want to see your gameplay in the videos. But without further ado, let's roll it.
Support weapon. Support weapon. Reloading! Follow me!
Affirmative.
Alright, well, let's go over here.
300 meters.
Are we just not gonna do the other parts, I guess? We'll just do the main thing.
Northeast, far.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind going back to bots, not gonna lie. I don't really like my build, and I'd need some time to think about my
Enemy
build.
patrol, north. I'm on it. Enemy patrol, north.
Whereas, like, bots I know for sure what I want.
Support
Fucking...
weapon. Never mind.
What a... That's dumb.
Bug outpost spotted. Again, an eagle. Democracy's on its way.
Czy tylko u mnie ten chłop jest zbugowany?
Nie, też jest to
Launch countdown complete. We have to leave now. Extraction complete. Pelican 1 beginning ascent.
Sending in an eagle. Delivering payload.
Let me know down below, what are your guys' thoughts on Helldivers coming to Xbox? Do you think it would be a good call? Would you appreciate more Helldivers? Or do you think that this is just going to be something that Sony is never going to back down on? Also, don't forget to check out this video and this video right here where I cover more news on Helldivers 2. And as always, thank you for stopping by. Keep spreading democracy.